World War II drastically changed the course of U.S. history, and there is no doubt that we probably wouldn't have many of the freedoms we enjoy today had it not been for the valor of 16 million young Americans who went overseas to take on the enemy in the name of freedom. They risked their lives, they grew up overnight, and they were asked to take on challenges that many of us could not even fathom today.
I wonder how it fits now after all these years.
Yet they are so humble. We are grateful for their sacrifice. We are grateful for their courage and their resolve. And more than anything, Honor Flight of Southeast Florida aims to say thank you, since so many of these vets never got the appreciation or even the handshake they so rightfully deserved.
It was weird having all those things happen to you, the crowds and the kissing and the shaking and American flags and the bands and everything. I actually felt I was coming home from the war.
Thanks for your service to our country. Welcome to Washington.
I said, what is this? Am I 18 again?
But this is not 1945. This is 2012. The honor flights of Southeast Florida numbers 12 and 13 land in Washington, D.C. with two planes full of World War II veterans and their guardians from South Florida, ready for a day of remembrance, reverence, and raw emotion.
In 1945, I came home and there was nobody there. There was nobody there to greet me.
And that's exactly why every part of this 100% volunteer staff aims to make this trip down memory lane as honorable as possible.
Very emotional. I'm holding back tears.
89-year-old Dr. Norman Ross was a U.S. Navy tail gunner in the war.
With my crew, and they're all dead, except for one more.
He flew 60 combat missions in a B-24 bomber.
This is a World War II Victory Medal, and this is for service in Europe, and this is for service in the Pacific.
But he says it was this latest mission that really got him.
So I didn't want to go. I didn't want all the memories involved to come back.
But Norman would eventually change his mind. Honor Flight of Southeast Florida is a local nonprofit organization created to honor World War II and terminally ill veterans. The heroes are flown to Washington, D.C. to visit the memorials.
You know, the country didn't open the memorial to the World War II veteran on a national level until '04. Now there's this beautiful memorial, but it dawned on the founders of the organization, if you don't get these folks up there, they're never going to see it.
And so the mission begins, and there are so many stories like Norman's. On these trips, for one day, these veterans are honored as true heroes, even if they don't think they are.
Sometimes people call us heroes, but I don't accept that. You want to be a hero, then you have to have challenges, and you have to have a noble purpose in life. And if you can meet those challenges, and you have a noble purpose, and you have some goals, and you get through them, then you're a hero.
As for Norman, he enlisted in the war for a reason: revenge against the Germans.
I had a purpose. I don't know how noble it was. My purpose was to get a kind of revenge for what happened to my father.
Norman's father fought in World War I. He got caught in gas poisoning by the Germans while on a rescue mission. He lost both his legs and one arm, but Norman says he never lost his spirit.
I remember how he met those challenges. He began to paint with his left hand.
Norman's father died at the young age of 33 when Norman was just a young boy and needed him most. He says he would never forget what the Germans did to his family.
Of course, I remember her shooting morphine needles into him every day. And that's what bothered me most.
So off he went as a young man, having no idea how the war would change him forever.
Well, I didn't feel lost during the war because I had all my buddies around me. And we went through training together and we were very close, like pages in a book.
But most of them died, and the war started to take a toll on Norman.
It was pretty hard. War is hell. 13 hours a day, 13 hours in a plane with no seats.
When Harry Truman essentially ended the war by ordering the dropping of 2 nuclear bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Norman says he was ready to go.
But I have nothing against that man for doing what he did.
August 6, 1945. On that day, the nuclear age burst upon the Earth with the flash and fire from the first atom bomb. The target was Hiroshima, a second-day bomb.
Because I don't know how much longer I could have lasted if the war went on over Japan.
And even decades later, Norman, like so many of the other veterans that have visited the memorials in D.C., had a hard time just being here. Old wounds still so fresh, memories buried but not forgotten.
I'm still suffering from PTSD, and I still have flashbacks and bad dreams, and I don't have words to describe this place.
And he's not alone.
I've gotten over most of it until I got up here today, and it brought it all back to me.
While fascinating and painful at the same time, visiting the new World War II memorial is still the highlight of the day for many on this honor flight journey.
It's exhilarating, and that sculpture, the 2 sculptures of the birds holding up the wreath in the 2 columns there, it's stunning. And they did such a marvelous job in the selection of the quotations that are embedded on the walls. It evokes the spirit of the unified people of World War II.
And some vets actually tell stories of fond memories of a time so very long ago.
This whole country was one person for a period of about 5 or 6 years. Couldn't do enough to help each other. No division, no 2 sides. So many young people given jobs of life and death for other people and rising to the occasion. You grew up overnight. We regret the death and destruction, but we remember fondly the comradeship.
The World War II Memorial here in Washington, D.C. was just erected in 2004. And since the average age for all World War II veterans in this country is almost 90 years of age, and we're losing more than 1,000 of them every single day, the rush is on to make sure they are all able to see this memorial here in their honor. This display of 4,048 gold stars says it all. 1 star for every 100 American lives lost in the war, while those left standing are disappearing little by little.
Many of us are dying off, and in several years you won't have anybody around to talk about this, and just to tell people just what it was like.
I'm depressed a little bit because it means a lot of action, but I love it. It looks beautiful to see.
This mission cannot be completed without the volunteers, and lots of them. With every single veteran on this trip is a volunteer guardian, a person who stays at the vet's side for every step of the 18-hour journey from Florida to D.C. and back, taking care of their needs and making sure they are safe.
I just felt compelled to be a part of this and to give back, to the heroes of our nation.
All exactly cut from the same kind of cloth. It's love of country, it's love of the veteran, and that's what binds us all together.
Often these guardians are firefighter paramedics. The match just makes sense.
Well, some of that obviously is the feeling of wanting to help and serve people. The aspect that we are a natural fit because we do have some medical training, and we do have the ability to help them understand people, moving people in wheelchairs and picking them up and stuff. And again, I think it's a great fit because we're all in an honor and a service to our community or our country.
And for the fire medics who pay their own way and dedicate their time, this too is a life-changing experience.
And he is my new buddy. He is a friend. I gained a friend out of this, and what a tremendous guy. He's just fabulous to talk to, and his experiences, and I just can't say enough about it. It has just been a wonderful experience.
This November 2012 flight almost completely firefighter supported from Palm Beach County, Martin County, and beyond.
My father was in World War II, so for me to be able to do this, he's not here with me anymore, so to be able to give back and do this for somebody, it was really special to me.
At the Iwo Jima Memorial, the famous image of Marines raising the United States flag on Japanese soil evokes strong emotions.
Of course, it brings back memories at a time which I completely forgot about. It's been a lot of years, so, you know, you have better things to think about, but you come back here, you remember what was worth fighting for.
And as an honor back to our veterans, it did so much for us. Obviously, being a veteran myself, the love of my country and the respect that I have for the people that sacrifice so much for them and their families.
And that's why the Honor Flag Day in D.C. also includes Arlington National Cemetery and the changing of the guard at the tomb of the unknown soldier. And by the look on the vets' faces, this means everything.
Not to be forgotten.
Forward! On!
Seeing the changing of the guard over there was just thrilling, and to see the reverence and respect that's paid it's just unbelievable.
Right shoulder! Up!
For Dr. Norman Ross, there was even more to add to his already special trip.
There he is.
His family in D.C. met him for lunch, introducing him to his brand new great-grandbaby.
His father is Max, he's in the Navy.
For many of these vets, coming home was bittersweet. They were glad the war was over, but they were forever scarred. For Norman, they then called it battle fatigue. Today, we know it as post-traumatic stress disorder.
I just couldn't fit into civilian life after what I went through during the war.
Norman was suicidal.
I didn't like the idea of having killed somebody. And I wasn't thinking of the person that I killed so much as I felt about their families. The families will never forget it. It'll never be erased.
When he got back home, Norman wanted a life. He educated himself at Columbia through the GI Bill, and with a PhD, he taught high school for years. Then in 2007, he started to write 11 books, many about the war.
Was that almost therapeutic for you?
Oh, yes, very much so. I have one other goal. I want to be the oldest living veteran of World War II.
Behind the scenes, the mission to get these flights off the ground is no easy task. The Honor Flight Board meets all year round to fundraise, find veterans, arrange flight details, recruit guardians, and so on. They call it a labor of love.
The biggest challenge isn't even really the money. The biggest challenge is competing with all the other very worthy causes that are out there and all the background noise. But once you get that person's attention just long enough to explain to them what this is all about, everything stops and they go, now what can we do to help you? And they follow through and they keep going.
And they're always looking for a little help, big or small.
You can dive in head first like some of us have, or you can do something as simple as show up at the airport and wave a flag and welcome a veteran home.
Even for those vets who had second thoughts about visiting the past, saying those final goodbyes to old friends, and reliving some painful memories, they are truly grateful for the chance. The sincere thank yous.
It was so nice to see that people just didn't forget us. It was just a wonderful thing. That's something I'll never forget for the rest of my life. It was just a marvelous thing.
And the reverence.
While the plane was taxiing to take off at PBI, and the fire department gave us a water cannon salute, I said, wow, that's amazing.
And just as there is a waiting list for vets to get on that next flight down memory lane,
do I recommend the trip to other veterans? Indubitably.
There'll always be dozens of people feverishly working to make it happen before time runs out.
It hits home. Everybody knows a veteran. or was a veteran or had a veteran in their family. And if you don't know any of that, or you don't have any of that, if you just have a basic appreciation of what this country is and how it became this country and how it stayed the way it is, then there's something in it for everybody.
If you would like to find out more about Honor Flight of Southeast Florida and how you can get involved, just head to their website, www.honorflightsefl.org, or call this number, 1-855-FLY-A-VET. For the professional firefighters and paramedics of Palm Beach County, I'm Tara Cardoso.